Welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, the storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the fam.
Hello. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Wake Up Wednesday. Hard to believe that it's already hump day, but it is. It is here. You are here. We are here. And we intend to have a wonderful day, right? That's what Wake Up Wednesday is all about, being intentional. What do you intend for your day? Have you thought about it? What type of day are you going to have? What type of things do you intend to do today? Have you thought about it? Intention requires reflection and thought. In order to have the life that you desire, you have to take a step back every now and then and just check in with yourself and think about the things that are important to you. What are my values? What are my goals? What am I going to do with this gift called life? That's what being intentional is all about. We're living regardless. Things are happening every single day. We are going, but are we just going through the emotions, or are we actually experiencing life and being intentional about how we're spending our precious resources? How are you spending the gift of your life? Have you thought about it? Those 24 hours are going to burn anyway. But at the end of the day, have you accomplished the things that you set out to do today? Did you set out to do anything today? Right? That's the beginning, is checking in with yourself and having a plan for your life so that things don't just happen. You're not living your life by happenstance. You're not just going through the motions, but you're actually planning, implementing, steering, driving, taking yourself somewhere. Our life is not much more than the culmination of our choices, right? So if you don't like how things are going, you can make different choices. But first, you have to realize what it is that you want. You have to be clear about that. Gain that focus, gain that clarity. What is it that I want? What am I doing with all my time? We all complain about it. We all say we don't have enough of it. But what do we do when we do have it? What do we do with our time? How do you spend those your days? What are you focused on? Who are you spending them with? As you start to ask yourself those questions, pictures will start to come to mind, scenes will start to come to mind, conversations will start to come to mind. And then you ask yourself, do any of these things serve my purpose? Do any of these things set me up to be successful in the way that I'm working towards success? Do the things that I'm doing align with my goals? Do they align with my values? Because when we do the things that are valuable to us, that align with who we really are, our lives are so much more fulfilled and enjoyable. You're living with purpose. You're not just living. We don't want the period to be after just living. Anyone who's inhaling and exhaling has accomplished that. They're living. But then what? How are you living? What are you experiencing? How much joy is in your life? Are you accomplishing the things that are important to you? Are you soaring? Look at that eagle. Are you soaring through your life? Our lives are a wonderful gift. You don't want to spend it all perched on the ledge. You don't want to spend it all just sitting, watching the days go by. We want to soar. right? And if you don't want to soar, ask yourself what it is you do want to do. We are much more in tune with the don't wants and the I would nevers than we are really with the things that we want out of life. And if you're focused on what you don't want, you're just going to have more of that. All of your intention and attention is going into what you don't want. So it's really important to slightly shift that focus. What are the things that I would like out of this life? What are the things, if that's too big, too heavy, what would I like out of today? What would make this hour meaningful to me? Have that level of clarity so that you have that level of control. Because when you have your goals and your values in the forefront of your mind, then you're making decisions that align with those things. When you're not thinking about them and you're just saying yes to whatever comes your way or no to whatever feels uncomfortable, you're not making clear decisions. You may be acting out of fear, you may be acting out of habit, but you're not acting out of control and focus and intention. And those are the things that are going to give us the life that we desire. Those are the things that are going to help us soar like that beautiful eagle, right? I want to soar. How do I do that? Right? I start by identifying my strengths. What am I good at? What do people naturally gravitate towards me for? What are the things that I'm gifted in? Identify your strengths. Most of us can rattle off the things that we're not good at easily. We've got that list running in our heads all the time, and we want to overcome those things. That's a different way of focusing. That's the way that we've been taught to focus. You get better by strengthening your weaknesses. But what if you got better by pouring in to your strengths, expanding those strengths, putting your intention into the areas where you're already gifted? I can't remember who said it, but I read a quote recently that basically said, if you focus and develop your strengths, your weaknesses will take care of themselves. You can get so good at what it is that you do that it's undeniable. You become known for your strengths. Do we over time get better in some things? Of course, we're evolving. We see areas where we can improve all the time, and we should. But our focus, if we began with our strengths, we accelerate our journey. We get there faster because we're coming from a place of power, not from a place of weakness. So, what are you good at? Why were you gifted with that thing? Why are you the one who can naturally sing, can naturally write, who has the gift of poetry? What are your gifts? Do you know? Maybe you're an encourager, you're an uplifter. Maybe you're creative. You can see the solution to problems before other people do. A lot of the things that we're naturally good at, we don't even see them for what they are. We take them for granted because that gift has always been there. But what it really is the accelerator to the life that we want. If we can lead with that, if we can build our confidence because of that, if we can put that out first and build that strength, keep evolving it, just imagine how much quicker you get to the life that you desire. So that's the essence soar, identifying your strengths. And then we come to the O, and that's overcoming limits, whatever they are, limiting beliefs, limiting relationships, limiting conversations, limiting input in any way. We have to overcome those things, limiting habits. If I have habits that stand between me and the life that I desire, I need to change those habits. I have to prune them away. Get rid of those things. Prune so that I can make room for not only my gifting, my strengths, but I can actually integrate new skills that's going to work with my strengths to help me to continue to move towards the life that I desire. And that's what the A is about, achieving those goals from our strengths and from pruning away the things that don't serve us. We prepare ourselves to achieve the goals that we say we want. And we need to be really clear about those. Spend some time with those goals. Ask yourself why. Why is this important to me? Because if your why isn't strong enough, you're not going to do the work anyway. Your excuses will outweigh your whys if you haven't gotten back to that thing, if you haven't peeled the onion back far enough to identify that thing that's undeniable, that thing that you can't imagine being without, right? We all would love to be wealthy and never have to worry about money and all of those things. But do we take on the extra job? Do we cut out the fast food or whatever our spending habits are? Do we change those? No, because money is not that big of a motivator. Why do you want the money? Why? Do you want to leave a legacy for your children? Do you want to change the trajectory of your family tree? Do you want to make sure your kids have money for college or for the life they graduate from college debt free and can start their lives? When you start to get into the why, what really matters beyond that surface thing that we always go to, if you can peel that back and find your real why, nothing will stop you from getting there. Nothing will stop you because it's just that important to you. You peeled it back until you got to that non-negotiable, that thing that you must have, right? And then the R is resilience. Building a resilient mindset, focusing on your strengths, realizing how far you've come, being able to see your progress, knowing that you can get through whatever obstacles are in front of you right now because your history has already showed how many things that you've gotten through, helps you to build that resilience. It helps you to know that one bad moment does not define you. Neither does one good moment, by the way. But we're not defined by our things, our everything that we accomplish. Give yourself some space between the core of who you are as the person and the things that you create, the things that you acquire. Those things are great, but don't let them define you, because then when those things go away, where are you left? You're left with nothing. If that's all you know about yourself, whether I have millions or I have nothing, I'm a good person. I'm kind. I give back. I care about other people. I love my family, right? I love God. Those things define me, not what I'm wearing, not the good hair day or the bad hair day, not what I'm driving, not where I live. None of those things are just facts about my life at this moment. Those facts could change at any moment. They don't define me. And when you start to give yourself that space and a little bit of separation, you're able to be more resilient because you're not holding on so tight to every little thing. You don't take in a quote unquote failure so deeply. You can look at it differently and go, ooh, what am I going to learn from this situation? What is this situation teaching me? Why am I going through this? Not, oh God, why me? Why did it happen to me? You're human. Anything could happen to anyone. None of us are exempt from life. It keeps lifing. Sometimes it lifes in the way that we really enjoy, sometimes not so much. But in all of those things, they all come together and prepare you for your next, whatever that next is. And so when you realize that even the bad times, the difficult times, you can find your resilience because you know this too shall pass. You know you're going to get through it. You know without a doubt. And you can look back at all the years living up to today to get that confirmation. Everything in my life has taught me that I can handle whatever comes my way. Do I feel that immediately when I get smacked in the face? Maybe not. I'm still human. You're still human. So we have those moments, but we can gather ourselves. We can focus our energy. We can be intentional, and we'll realize this too shall pass. Everything's temporary. So when you're in one of those difficult seasons, realize that this is temporary. Let me wade through all the gunk to find my lesson, to find what it is that I should be learning, should be doing in this moment. And it keeps that moment from being so overwhelming. As you guys are probably aware, I've got a quote for you today. Let me share that. And it's from Abraham Lincoln. He says, "In the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years." So, how much life are you packing into your years? Are you just counting? Next month is April. Number 56 will be my number if we're just looking at the counting, the passing of time. But oh, have I packed a lot of living into those 56 years. I've seen and done things that little me couldn't even imagine. This right here, this moment is beyond what little me would have imagined. Even though I had dreams, I had not even dreams. I had these visions as a little person. I would see myself with a microphone. I was standing in front of a large crowd, and people were just around, sitting, listening to whatever it was I was talking about. I never knew what I was talking about. I never knew exactly who I was talking to, but I was talking and people were listening. And every once in a while, I pinch myself and go, oh man, the visions that little Cassandra had that she didn't even understand, she lives every day, right? I could easily have not made that connection because I don't have a microphone in my hand the way microphones looked back then. But I do have one right next to me, right there. Love it. Right there. Seeing at almost 56 what maybe 5, 6, 7-year-old me saw and didn't understand. I thought, like when the talk shows came around, well, first, no, it was the news anchors. I thought maybe I was going to be a news anchor. There was a Black news anchor, female, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Iola Johnson. And my dad used to call me that, little Iola, because I was always talking. And so I thought that was the dream. That was the vision. And then Oprah Winfrey came along, and that was her talk show. Oh my God, that kind of looks like my vision. Maybe that's it, right? I saw glimpses of it over time. I didn't know what it would be or when it would be, but it was planted in me, right? Probably before I took my first breath. And my surroundings, my environment was supporting the dream that I didn't even know I had. My dad was calling me an anchor woman. I was called upon at church to recite things, Easter speeches, and all the kids were, but I was the one who went excited for the longest speech. Couldn't wait to get all dressed up and stand up and do my thing. Same thing at school. All the different opportunities to speak and perform and be involved in things. I did everything that school had for us to do. I was always in one event or another, one activity or another. Uncomfortable, fearful, but for whatever reason, my knees would shake, my hands would shake. I would have those moments at the first couple seconds where it didn't feel like I could get any breath in when I inhaled, but I did it anyway. I couldn't help myself. I kept volunteering, even into adulthood. I kept doing things that made me speak. And I didn't know even why I was doing it. I was like, this freaks me out so bad. I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so afraid. What if I do the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong thing? What if no one listens? What if all these messages playing in my head? And as uncomfortable as I was, it was more uncomfortable not to do it. I was drawn to it and didn't know why. What's that thing in your life? What is it that you're drawn to at that level that you feel like you just have to do, whether you're paid for it, whether it makes you uncomfortable, whether you're fearful to do it? There's something that was planted in you that is a part of it. Almost feels like it's a part of your DNA. When you can identify that thing, now you know what your strength is. You're starting to find your purpose. How it's going to unfold is yet to be determined. But just knowing at the core what it is, you'll start to nurture it. You'll start to think about it. And in doing so, you start to draw the right people, the right opportunities to you. You get a chance to expand it, to evolve it, to get better at it. I'm better at this today than I was when I started. It looks so different. It's funny to look back at some of the first shows that I did. Just a talking head, just bumbling along. Excited though, excited to be here. But I'm better today because of how many hours I've done it. You're no different, whatever it is. But first, identify it. Know what that strength is. Know what pulls you to it. It may be something that's so obscure that it's hard to see it as a gift. But I've got some gifts that it's like that doesn't translate to work or career or opportunity. You'd be surprised. I've got a nurturing gift. I have a gift of encouraging people and making them feel good and dive in and see what they're good at. I work in a technology company where you would think that that wouldn't mean anything. But because that gift was noticed in me, my first opportunity to manage 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't because of my technical skills. It was because of those warm fuzzies. That is what got me the opportunity. That manager said, "We need you to take over this team. The team's having a difficult time. They're very skilled, but they feel uncared for. They haven't been taken care of. That's what we need for them." Never thought in corporate America, in a technical company, that it would be my nurturing nature, my care for people that would really begin my career journey and help me advance. But that's what happened. You never know. So you have to shine the light on your gifts. Show up as you are. Don't try and fit. I never tried to be the guys like the guys around me. I'm going to wear pink. I'm going to have glitter. I'm going to do my makeup. I'm not going to do the tight bun and the suit and the thing. I don't want to blend in and look like everybody else because I'm not. And a caricature of me trying to be someone else is not nearly going to be as effective as me showing up in the fullness of who I am. Then you identify those unique things in me and you see what it is I can really offer. If I'm just playing the part and trying to look like everybody else, look, sound, be like everybody else, that uniqueness doesn't shine through. And the opportunities that are just right out of my reach, right out of my view, may never be presented to me. I don't look like the people around me, and I don't try to. I had a lady one day talk about um, it was a really rich pink, I think, or something that I was wearing, and it was really silky. And she goes, "Oh my goodness, I love that color. It looks so nice on you. We don't see that much of that around here." No, it's not. I know. We don't. And we continued the conversation. And this may sound a little facetious, but we have to learn also to stand in our truth. And I told her that I'm a woman in power. I'm not a woman in power trying to look like a man in power. Don't want to look like the guys around me. Love them, love to work with them. We get a lot of good stuff done, but they've got to do it in their truth, and I have to do it in mine. And when we come together and we're collaborating, because we're bringing our different points of view, our different uniqueness, we create things that are much better than if we were all thinking, acting, being the same way. When you're like that, you're limited in how creative you can be. We all see the same things. We all think about it the same way. There's no different points of view. Boring and limiting. So, no, I show up as I am. I didn't always. There was a time when I played the part young in my career because I didn't know any better. I was trying to figure things out. I didn't know me. So that suit could have been me. I had to figure it out. How am I most comfortable? How am I most authentic? How do I fit in without blending and being like everybody else and playing a part? It took time to unravel all of that and get to know myself at that level. But when I did, I was able to show up better, show up more authentically, and put more life into my years instead of just worrying about counting the years, because that's going to take care of itself. The counter is going to keep on moving anyway. But how much life are you putting into your years? All right, we've got quite a few comments that have come in. Conchita says, wonderful Wednesday, truly another amazing day. Absolutely. Sonia says, good morning, family. Hey, hey, hey. Lisa, good morning, fam. Looking forward to another uplifting session this morning. By the way, loving that color on you, Cassandra. This is one of my treasures from India, Lisa. So it's long and it feels so good. It's soft. Their clothes are thin because it gets so hot there, so they're comfortable and flowing. So I just love. I started pulling them out of my closet again and wearing them. So yeah, thank you so much. I love this piece. Conchita says, to add to the quote, thus we should pack purpose into each moment of every day. Absolutely. Your day's packed with something. Do you even know what you're carrying in your proverbial suitcase? What are you packing? Right? Pack purpose, pack kindness, pack intention, right? Pack a positive mindset. Pack in the things that are going to serve you and help you get where it is that you're going. Prune away self doubt, prune away anger, prune away frustration, prune away overwhelm, prune away fear. It'll never completely go away. Fear tells us we care, right? Fear tells us something's happening that I'm not accustomed to. So it'll never completely go away. But you don't have to be controlled by it. You can control your fear, and you can be just like little Cassandra, shaky legs, shaky voice, can barely breathe, but she getting ready to give them one heck of an Easter speech. Do it anyway. Do it afraid. Do it with shaky legs. If it's important enough to you, you'll push through that fear. So thank you for adding that, Conchita. Let's see what else we have. Kim says, hump day. Have an amazing day. Thank you for being with us, Kim, before you take off to work in a little bit. Satish, the inborn question to speak in public is the only way to win and become an excellent public speaker. Indeed, you have to pour your heart out so that you can touch the hearts of the audience. What a beautiful share. Thank you for that, Satish. And I agree wholeheartedly. Conchita says, Cassandra, you took me down memory lane. Did your youth leader have you memorize your parts on the program? That was so intimidated, but it created strength and virtue. Absolutely, we had to memorize it. Don't come up there with that paper. You better, you've had time to get it together. The expectation of excellence that I experienced it more in my church than anywhere. Now I had high expectations from my teachers and things. They recognized that I was capable, so they held me to a higher standard. But at church, and y'all, my grandpa was the pastor, my grandmother the first lady. So we were cutting no slack. We were to set the example. But I loved it. I'm not the typical, I don't have the woe stories of a lot of PKs because you kind of live in a fishbowl. You almost are not expected to develop like other kids and go through those same seasons and have the same issues. There's almost a perfection expectation placed on you because you're the pastor's kid. But I was so in love with that space, and there was such an expectation of excellence. You're going to memorize your speech. You're going to stand up tall. You're going to speak loud to the person in the back of the room. There was an expectation of excellence, and I thrived in that. For some, it was super intimidating, and it made it really difficult for them. But for me, it was what I needed to continue to develop what I at that point didn't recognize was my gift. So, oh yeah, that's a huge memory lane and a big part of my development. Exactly, and the same expectation of excellence remains to this day. Absolutely, our first venture in public speaking for many people, um, as young, started in our churches and the things that we were expected to do in those settings. So yes, welcome to memory lane, Conchita. Glad to stroll with you. All right, Jay. I think Brian is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but by all means, jump in here. I'd love to hear what you have to share.
Well, lots of things. Speaking of the angel, Brian, um, well, first a song comes to mind,
Okay.
and it's a funny one as always, right? And it's the you said something, and it triggered the music.
Mm.
Shaky legs, shaky legs, shaky. It never mind.
Oh my
Um,
gosh. That was almost dad joke caliber, Jay.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And that was intentional. So really, a lot of things are coming to mind. I was writing notes. I think, I think if I was writing a sermon, I would have to have two parts to it, and have the congregation come back in the evening. um, it really when I well, let me start with scripture first, because
Okay.
lately I've been doing this backwards. Um, so the second book of Chronicles, chapter 15, verse 7. But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded.
Hmm.
This is really speaking about the importance of intentionality and perseverance.
Hmm.
Intentionality and perseverance in your actions, in your endeavors. And it's really encouraging people to remain steadfast, resolute, don't give up. It talks about the decision to stay committed to one's goals and convictions, even in the face of adversity or strife, struggle, life.
Hmm.
um, it really talks about the importance of intentionality in staying strong and committed to your objectives, knowing that perseverance will ultimately lead to fulfillment,
Mm.
right? And rewards. Um, and you mentioned excuses,
Hmm.
and what I want to talk about when we talk about intentionality, some of those excuses, right? We talk about speaking positively over yourself,
Hmm.
speaking
Hmm.
positivity, positivity over yourself, speaking
Hmm.
power over yourself. The intentionality, if you're speaking negatively about something,
Hmm.
it's not going to work. You're already putting yourself in that negative mode. So you're supposed to be getting up and going and doing a run, right? Maybe
Hmm.
around the block, just to stay in shape, right? Just to be a little bit
Hmm.
healthier. And you say, I'm just going to be hurting at the end of this. I'm just going to be, stumbling. And you know what? I might just not do this, right? You're already defeating yourself by speaking that negativity out into the open. Um, and I will point to science for a minute. I know science and faith in the same sentence.
Oh
No,
yeah.
but
That's called a
but
complete. That's
yeah,
called a
we will.
complete sentence. That's called a complete sentence.
Uh huh.
Those who think they cancel each
Right.
other out or they're in conflict are fooling themselves.
Uh-uh. Right. Here's what I want to tell you about. Science Scientists did this experiment. They put water into this bubble, and it's a controlled environment, and they basically sent a sound wave
Mhm.
at it, and in that experiment, that water droplet exploded into light,
Mm.
right? It exploded into light. It looked like a star.
Hmm.
And here's the thing. Imagine God created the universe. God spoke everything into existence. This is God's sound to me coming out to us and speaking to us. And if we were speak negatively, we are speaking power that's negative over ourselves. If we speak positively over ourselves, we're speaking that power over ourselves.
Yep.
So keep that in mind. Don't keep thinking and don't keep speaking those negative thoughts or negative feelings out into the open, because it will have an impact. If sound can have an impact on water in such a way where it's so profound that it creates light.
Preach, Jay.
Look who woke up.
if it, if we speak negatively over it, seriously, come on. Here's where you have to see the light. The
Have to see
light
the
that
light.
that comes through this. Um,
That's good. That's good.
he's talking about preaching. I didn't know we had that many green leaves in the audience here. Um,
We do
you,
now.
um, yeah, little you see in that microphone. That was I was there, man. I was little Jay wanting to be on TV.
Hmm.
Now, when you were thinking about Iola, or your dad talking to you about Iola, or you looking at Oprah, I actually was a news anchor,
Hmm.
and I'm back on TV now again
Hmm. Hmm.
on a screen. Um, so this is the power of intentionality as kids, right? Having these dreams and aspirations. It's that power of imagination, right? We call it imagination as kids, and then we call it intentionality as adults. Really, what it is walking towards our purpose.
Hmm.
Whether we're adolescents or whether we're adults, it's walking towards our purpose.
That's right.
And
And we have to allow ourselves to dream. I start my group sessions, and especially with a new person, and even the workbook that I've had out for a while, the goal setting workbook. It starts with dreaming. It starts with encouraging you to take all the constraints off, forget about the typical things that hold us back, money, time, our obligations, and allow yourself to get into a mental space of freeness and see what comes up for you. What would you be doing? Where would you go? Who would you be doing it with? So that you can allow your mind to form the picture that you've pushed down for so long. You've told yourself why you can't do it. You've told yourself that there's other things that are more important, and you've piled all of this stuff on top of that was what's planted inside of you. And so we have to begin by removing those constraints, allowing yourself to dream, letting that picture come forth. And then when you see that picture clearly, you can start to go, okay, in this, here's what I'm ready to work on. Here's how this can become something tangible. And you create your plan. And you create your goals. And then you do the plan to achieve those goals. But you have to dream first. Our imagination is what it is for a reason.
I got another. I got another another dad joke sort of for you.
Uh-oh.
What is the most powerful nation in the world?
Imagination.
Right, right, right. There you go. Um, and before I and I want to go back to what we say and what we speak into existence and the power of the words that we have
Hmm.
and what we say. And Stanford, right? It's a renowned educational institution.
Absolutely.
They did a study. Stories are remembered up to 22 times more than facts alone.
Yeah.
Imagine you keep saying this stuff, you create that story in your mind about yourself. And if it's always negative, that's what you're going to remember. And that's what you're going to bring to the table every day. Don't do it. Speak positively over yourself
Speak
and
life.
speak life, right? God did it. God did it.
Mhm.
And if we are created in his image, here we are. We have to
There you
be
go.
that example as well in ourselves. We got to speak
Absolutely.
life.
Exactly. Exactly. Conchita said, Jay, great reminders of speaking positivity matters in order to live into our lives. It's in alignment with scripture that states life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak only positive words to have the best outcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. So true, Conchita. All right. So, Brian, it looks like you are good and stable, and we've heard you a couple times now. So, I am excited to hear what you have to share. I'm actually going to go off camera for a minute. I have to set up for a work call, but setting up is like 3 paces from where I'm sitting. So, I'll be able to hear and possibly jump back in. But if I don't, you guys go ahead and wrap up the room for me. Um, and with that, Brian, it's over to you.
Grand Rising. I'll keep this short
Grand
and sweet.
Rising.
I'm loving the conversation this morning about how you move, right? How you think. Those thoughts are what shape you, right? If you're thinking negative, you're gonna be negative. You're thinking positive, you're gonna be positive. And what I've learned over the years is that when you move with love and gratitude, when you express love to others, then you're able to express love to yourself, right? You're able to give yourself that grace you're always talking about, Jay. You're able to speak life over your life, Cassandra, right? When you're able to show other people that love and that grace, then it comes back on you. When you talk positively to other people throughout your day, complete strangers, you're really less likely to talk negative to yourself. If I got enough gumption to give you some grace, Jay, love that shirt you got on. Man, I'm not gonna go back to my own home and talk bad about the shirt I have on. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I like this shirt too. Jay had on a nice shirt, but it's a pretty nice shirt too. If I tell somebody, oh, that's a nice car, I'm not gonna go home and look at my car and think, man, I hate that piece of crap. You know what I'm gonna be thinking? Either I love the car I have, or this is the car that I want to get next, right? When you talk positive, when you speak positive over your life, positive things start to happen. And it really starts with love. Love paves the path for those blessings, right? You don't just get to think positively. That's a blessing from God to be able to think that way, right? And the only way you can fill up those blessings is by giving out some of that grace, some of that love, some of that kindness to other people. When you're able to do it, God will fill you up so that you can do it for yourself. That's my message for today, Jay. Do it for yourself. Do it till you're satisfied. Believe in yourself. Give yourself some grace. Love yourself. Love on yourself some, man.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Yeah, man. Do that.
I'm a you know the the message that I heard this morning with Cassandra, it really spoke to me. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell everybody right now what happened yesterday. Um, it was after the morning show, and there was there was a thing that we had to take care of, and Renee and I, my wife, and we went to look at our bank account, and lo and behold, there was this Shopify purchase purchases, and it wasn't ours. I mean, it cleaned us up. So if we're talking about intentionality, right? We could have just sat and wallowed in that. And this is not the first time that this has happened. This is not the first time that this has happened. And we've taken steps to make sure that it didn't happen again. And they got past that. And so, do we stop and say, man, do we just throw our hands up and say, man, we just gotta put everything under our mattress? I gotta dig a hole now to to put my money in to make sure it's safe, you know? Or is the world against me? No, but the adversary might be. But am I gonna stay in that moment? Nah. And that's the power of intentionality and speaking positively over yourself and your circumstances, what it can do to you. And if you have faith, right? And for me, my faith is in God, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. And my guidebook is the Bible. And when I prayed, I usually pray for God's shield. Yesterday, I prayed for God's sword because I'm trying to defend my family against that adversary. This is intentionality. What is going to get you motivated to move forward past the adversity, past all of the things that are coming against you? Because it's not for me. I've got people that rely on me, that depend on me. I need to show up. I need to show up and I need to show out. And if I don't have faith in myself and faith in God, whew, imagine where I could be. But I don't. I don't imagine where I could be. I imagine where I should be based on my faith. And like I said, if sound has the power to create something that looks like a sun, a star, out of a droplet of water, imagine the sound of positivity you speak over yourself and what that can do. These are the things that have been rolling around in my mind since Cassandra spoke. Um, and I know she's doing things and she's getting her day started on the other side of what she does. She's a leader. She's a leader here on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show and with the Fam Collective, but she's also a leader at her job and her family. So, and in her church. So, you know, um, speaking of words, I want to just also go back to what she was talking about earlier. She spoke about soar, um, and that acrostic, and it's her book. Her book is coming out on the 25th. I really want to make sure that everybody understands that here is a way that you can stay in that positive mindset. And if you're not, this will help you to get to that positive mindset so that you can start speaking that positivity over yourself if you haven't already. It's a really powerful book, and it can change your life. And if not, maybe just change bits of your mindset. So I encourage you to pick it up. I think there's only a day or two left now where you can get it pre-ordered and at a breakneck price. 80%, 90% off the actual retail price that's going to be out on the 25th. So I would really encourage everybody, if you haven't gotten the book, go get it. Get it now. But I thank everybody for joining us today. If Cassandra can't come back, we can wrap up a little bit here. Brian, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up? Anything about the book? You might not be in a position to say stuff, but I thank everybody for being here with us on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. The Fam Collectives, we show up here as manifesting miracle makers with Cassandra Terry, Tuesday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. Central Time, every day, Tuesday through Friday. Come join us. We talk about many things related to mindset. We have the Mindset Queen, Cassandra Terry, here leading us through that. And we all talk about it. And we try to help bring value to the conversation with our insights and our experience and with the word. So with that, join us again. We'll see you here again on the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Thanks again. Bye for now. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you join us every week, Tuesday through Friday, 7:15 a.m. Central Time for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Don't forget to join iwanttosoar.com for advertising or sponsorship questions. Reach out to Cassandra or any member of the FAM Collective on their LinkedIn profiles. Have a great day, everyone.